over the weekend, I watched again, and I'm just going to have to buy the movie for $15 because this will be the second time I rented it. I should have just bought the thing and I have it permanently. I could buy it through, you can buy it through Amazon. Surprisingly, I'm surprised Amazon hadn't banned it. It's called The Plot Against the President. Guys, if you all have to see that movie. It's called The Plot Against the President, and if you're Amazon Prime, you can get it for $4.99. You need to sit down with your popcorn and your iced tea and watch The Plot Against the President. It goes in, and it's a documentary, and it goes in, it has all these interviews with Devin Nunes and Kash Patel and all these great heroes of America. Celebrate them on July 4th. It talks about how they found out the whole Russian collusion nonsense against the president. And you know what? You watch that, and they were always about the peaceful transfer of power. They did not give Donald J. Trump a peaceful transfer of power. They undermined him and spied on him and colluded against him right, left, and sideways from the minute he won the presidency. They were spying on him and spying on the campaign and planning a bunch of stuff against him, trying to distract against Hillary's email investigation. And then he won the Republican nomination, and they did more. And it was all this Clinton and DNC paid for. And then they got the Russians involved, and they hired this guy, Christopher Steele, who made up this terrible bunch of lies and bar talk. I mean, it had really nasty stuff in it about Trump. How he had gone to Russia, and how his people who worked for him had gone to Russia and talking to Russia and all this nonsense. I mean, just really bad stuff. Trying to completely defame him, and they were trying to get attention away from Hillary's emails. Well, when Trump won, they had been spying on the campaign. Susan Rice unmasked. That means there were telephone calls, classified telephone calls going on. And if you heard somebody's name mentioned, like if you're talking to a terrorist, okay, let's just say you're talking to a terrorist, and the CIA or somebody's listening to that terrorist, and they want to know who in the United States he's talking to, who he's tied to. Or say you're talking to a Russian, and they're listening who he's talking to find out who's colluding with him. If you're talking to somebody overseas that the CIA has tapped, and I have a conversation, and I mention Papadopoulos' name, or I mention somebody's name, well, that shows up in the transcript. But all those names that are secondary names, they're redacted. Well, you can unmask them and find out, but you have to go through it's like a big deal, a really big deal to unmask somebody. Because that means you're taking the cover off and finding out who was in the conversation. Susan Rice unmasked like 384 times. It was ridiculous. She had the Trump kid, she had Papadopoulos, she had all these people that had just come up in conversations, and then they made up all these lies about him. Said that they went to Russia and met with these people and were colluding with the Russians to have Russia help in the campaign. It was all a lie. They knew from the beginning it was all a lie. They knew from the very beginning. Guys, praying for justice. I'm going to get off on this, and I had some other stuff I wanted to talk to you about, but you need to see the movie. You seriously need to see the movie. And you need to look at the big picture, because it goes on and on and on. It really gets into it. The whole tens of millions of dollars that were spent in the Mueller investigation, they knew before Mueller was ever assigned a special counsel, before there was ever a special counsel assigned, before it even got to that point, they knew the whole thing was a lie. It was a fraud on the American people. It cost us tens of millions of dollars. And I want my money back. I want my money back. You have defrauded the American people, purposefully defrauded the American people for political means, for a political purpose. You've defrauded the American people for a political purpose. I mean, outright defrauded. They knew. And they had the head of the CIA, Brennan, and they had all these top guys from the Obama administration. They're like, oh my gosh, they were like the top of the intelligence. They know what they're talking about. They were lying the whole time. They were lying. Lying to Congress. Nobody's gone to jail. A lot of other people gone to jail for lying to Congress. These guys have not even been touched. They're like untouchable, not even touched. 2022, come on. We want investigations. We want perp walks. We want people going to jail for lying to Congress. Seriously. Seriously.